revenue is not being broken out by locations. And this is a really big one because as you're trying to grow and you've got multiple locations, knowing how each one is performing and using all of the FP&A tools that are out there to be able to look at and see and understand how and what are the things that you can do to actually improve the performance of your business. Hello, everyone. This is Ken Kaufman. I have decided to put together a 6-part series. Should be relatively quick. Don't want to overwhelm everybody, but I'm just seeing a lot of sloppiness with bookkeepers, accountants, and just with the way finances are handled here in this great dental industry that we're in. And I just want to call some of these things out. I'm going to do this in 6 parts, so it'll be very easy to consume, and we'll just go ahead and jump right in here. So right off the top, one of the biggest challenges that I'm seeing is that there is a lack of data integrity in the financial records of a lot of dental practices and DSOs or groups that are trying to grow and expand. And this is very problematic. So I'm referencing all of this in terms of the things that your bookkeeper is not actually telling you or your accountant is not telling you, but they should be. The first one is they've got to be honest in terms of the data integrity on the financial side. So that's the first one. The second thing here is that I'm seeing a lot of very generic chart of accounts. And when you have a chart of accounts, you want it to be very tailored. So here we are in the dental industry, and your chart of accounts should know about labs and should be identifying the lab costs, and it should be identifying clinical supplies. Those are things that should be in a chart of accounts, and you should be looking at and understanding the percentage of revenue of all of those kind of things. And I'm seeing more and more really bland and really out of touch when it comes to dental. I'm seeing a lot of that and just concerned. It's a difficult thing already to run a business. It's very difficult to run a DSO. And when you're fighting through things like this, really bad chart of accounts can really hurt your organization as you try to grow and scale. The third item here is I'm seeing now with the chart of accounts that people are just lumping together lab fees and payroll and other supplies and just dropping them all into one bucket. Yes. Are those all expenses that have to flow through? They are, but it's so much easier to understand and read your financial statements when you've got this good, clean chart of accounts. In addition to this, I'm also seeing that revenue is not being broken out by locations. And this is a really big one because as you're trying to grow and you've got multiple locations, knowing how each one is performing and then using all of the FP&A tools that are out there to be able to look at and see and understand how and what are the things that you can do to actually improve the performance of your business. This one is so critical. You want to have revenue broken out by location, at least. You also probably want to do it by provider because it just makes doctor pay that much easier. And sometimes you might want to break it out by your payers as well. And so when you think about all of that, just ask yourself the question right now, is your bookkeeper or is your accountant, are they getting you this information in a way that is going to be helpful for you as you try to make good decisions, grow the business, and, keep the finances tightened up as much as possible. In addition to this, we're still seeing a lot of cash basis books, not much accrual. And if you're on cash basis, you are not running your business as well as you could. Accrual accounting is the gold standard for running a business and for making decisions within your business based on what's happening financially. Can't stress that enough. You've probably heard me talk about that already enough. The next one here is not reconciling what's happening financially with your general ledger. And so if you think about whatever practice management software you use, you want to be reconciling and making sure that between the financial information in the business, this data integrity that I was talking about, and your PMS system, you want those to be connected and you want them to be tied out to each other. I have seen so many DSOs that get out of whack with this. I've seen DSOs spend thousands and thousands of dollars with trying to get audits done because they did not do and handle all of this correctly from the very beginning. So super important that you get your arms around this, you get your hands around this, and you've got a team around you that knows how to handle this and solve these challenges and issues for you. And then I think I'll just go back and just make sure that I really emphasize here the multi-location. As soon as you have multi-locations, you need to be breaking up your financial statements so that you can see the performance of each location. I personally love to put them side by side and then look at who's doing well, who's not. And then I like to sort of pit the ones that are doing well against the ones that aren't doing so well and doing an analysis to say, what's this practice doing that this one isn't, or how can we improve based on what's happening within the locations that we're currently running and we're currently working with. So that's everything for today to talk about the 6 things that your bookkeeper is not telling you. This was day 1, and day 1 was all of these things. I'll just go through really quickly. The P&L might be lying to you, especially if you have financial reporting and data integrity issues. Next is you cannot live for very long and be successful with a generic chart of accounts. No lumping in lab fees with supplies and all these other and payroll costs and those things. Those all need to be separated out. Got to get out away from cash basis and get to accrual basis accounting. The P&Ls are arriving 30 to 60 days late. Can't have that. I think I might have forgotten to even share that one earlier. So I'm glad I'm going down the list here, but this is a big one. Just late financials. You are left blind to make decisions inside your organization. You do not want that, and you can solve it. We want to make sure that your PMS, if it's, Open Dental, whatever system it is that you have, you want to make sure that those are being reconciled to the PMS system so that from a finance perspective and from a PMS perspective, everything is tied out on a monthly basis and reconciled to the general ledger. These are just standard operating procedures when you're building and running a business. Again, this is part 1 of 6 things that your bookkeeper is not telling you. So we've got 5 more to go. I'm excited to share the rest of those things. And again, this is all coming from my motivation here is I'm just seeing sloppiness. I'm seeing a lot of mistakes being made, and I'm seeing a lot of organizations struggle because they are not paying attention to what their bookkeeper should be telling them.